All right, and let's stay on vaccine distribution. For more on that, we're joined now by Dr. Eric Dickson. He is the CEO of UMass Memorial Healthcare. Doctor, thanks so much for joining the program today. I'd love to kind of start with, from your vantage point, as you anticipate a rollout of COVID vaccines within your healthcare system, how you guys have approached that, and what your expectations are for, let's just say, the next 2 weeks, and then maybe who knows what 2021 looks like.
Well, we're very excited about the vaccine getting first line approval through the committee. We hope that the FDA will then do the emergency use authorization, and we should see the vaccine roll out to large centers that can maintain the refrigeration chain early next week, and hopefully delivery as soon as Tuesday, probably more like Thursday. And this is the first time that we've been able to go on the attack in this pandemic. We've been just playing defense, so to speak, and now we get to play some offense. So it's very exciting.
Dr. Anjalee here, looking at the rollout and the concerns about the allergic reactions, as well as whether or not pregnant women should be receiving this. What are your thoughts right now, and how are you planning to address these?
Well, we're going to be prepared to deal with any allergic reaction that occurs from the vaccine. We'll monitor people after getting the vaccine. Pregnant women were excluded from the Pfizer trial, so we are not planning to deliver to pregnant women. We are not planning to make this mandatory, because this is only emergency use authorization and not final authorization and approval by the FDA. And so the Pfizer trial will continue, and they'll continue to monitor the people that got the doses of vaccine. And so we may have better information soon in terms of pregnant women, children under 16, who else can get it. And thankfully, we have a second vaccine coming, hopefully just a week later, with the Moderna vaccine, and we're excited about that because it's a lot easier to store.
Dr. Dickson, we believe you participated in one of the clinical trials for one of the vaccines, and in the interest of convincing people, reassuring people that this whole process is safe, can you talk to us about your experience? Which vaccine was it, first of all? Do you know that you got it and not a placebo? And what was your experience like?
Well, through UMass Medical School and Dr. Robert Finberg, our chairman of medicine, we participated in the phase 3 trial, and we struggled to get people to volunteer. At that time, we didn't know if the vaccine was safe. We didn't know if it was effective. We didn't have any data at that point. So myself and several leaders from Worcester, the city council members, volunteered to participate in the trial. And some of us got placebo and some of us got the vaccine. We don't know exactly who, but I can say after the second shot, I had 24 hours of chills and some muscle aches, and that was it. So I either had a reaction to the vehicle that the mRNA is in, or I had a reaction to the protein that would have been produced by my body, which is how this vaccine works.
Doctor, how are you planning the vaccination of the healthcare professionals in your system? Are you staggering how they are vaccinated?
Yeah, the first people that get vaccinated are the COVID-facing healthcare workers. And the most important reason for that is because we are very short on people right now to be able to staff a field hospital, our ICUs and our COVID units, our emergency departments, because we have about 200 people that are out either with exposures or with active infection. So we have to conserve that fighting force, so to speak. We have to get them vaccinated first. We can do about 500 a day, and that will allow us to get the first 2,000 people their first dose just within the having the vaccine for 4 days. That really helps us a lot in terms of making sure that workforce is protected. We'd like to get that out to more like 6,000 out of our 14,000 employees that may not be working always with COVID patients, but frequently interact with them. Those are people in our testing centers and alike. And we believe that the single dose will provide some protection, but it won't be the 95% efficacy that you're hearing after the second dose.
Yeah, doctor, I know that that's one of the things they're anticipating looking into is whether or not this Pfizer vaccine could in fact be a one dose. That would be great for conservation. But looking forward, do as the two vaccines roll out, have you planned in advance for any issues? Especially, we know with the Pfizer vaccine, once you thaw it, you really have to just use it up. What is it looking like right now as you prepare for this vaccination?
It's a very complicated process in terms of being able to take out from the pizza boxes you'll hear about that will be delivered just enough vaccine to use that day, and make sure that you use all of that vaccine that day once you thaw it. We're fortunate that we have experience working with this vaccine from Pfizer, and so we feel well prepared to be able to do that. But it's not easy, and it's not something that could be done in most community hospitals. In fact, for us, we'll have a hub, a vaccination center at our academic medical center, and our community hospitals that are part of UMass Memorial. The people there that need to get vaccinated will have to come to that hub. That will completely change when the Moderna vaccine rolls out, hopefully just a week later. And then we can send that to smaller community hospitals. You can send that to community health centers. You can start to get that to the nursing homes. That's going to be really a game changer, assuming that it does get approval. The Pfizer vaccine was approved 17-4, and there was one abstention. So it wasn't a slam dunk per se. There was a close look at this, and some people did not recommend the approval, but the vast majority of the committee did. And so we'll want to watch that number with the Moderna vaccine as well. They are a little bit different in terms of their dosing. And if the side effects were more severe in the Moderna, they may not give that the emergency use authorization.
All right. Exciting stuff all around. Certainly something we'll be following very closely in the months ahead. Dr. Eric Dickson is the CEO at UMass Memorial. Dr. Dickson, thanks so much for joining the show this morning.
Thank you, everyone, and be safe.